So hi, this is me, Kathy. This is my second video. I am 13 days pre-gastric sleeve. I go in 13 days to Turkey to get it done. This is me in my office at work. See my wee picture that my partner's daughter made for me. And then I always have my positive quotes on the walls. But yes, today I want to talk about something, and it's not really talk about something, it's to talk to who, and it's to talk to myself of 6 months. I have been thinking about this for a little while. I am so worried about going. Not worried about getting the operation. I know there's going to be lots of hard at the end of it, and this is the hard that I'm choosing for everything that has not been working for me in the past. So before I talk to my 6 month self, I said in the last video that I would give you some information about who I am and what I am and all that jazz. Well, I'm Kathy, I'm 41. I am a personal trainer and I run and own my own gym. I have been battling with my weight since the first recognition I have that I had a weight issue was when I was about 12. And my granny was calling me downstairs to go, and I don't know where we were going, but she told me to get dressed. And there was black jeans in the drawer, and I put them on. I can still remember the smell of the black jeans, and every time I smell black jeans, you know the way jeans have that funny smell, I always can remember, and it brings me back to that time where that's the first time I realised, oh my god, these fitted me and now they don't fit me. I never really thought about my weight that much before that. My granny always used to call me the big one, and because we're from Ireland, that means the big one, but I always took it that it's because I was the oldest. Maybe it was because I was the heaviest, I don't know, but in my mind, to keep me sane, the biggin was for me because I was the oldest, so that's what I'm hoping anyway. And if not, sure, it is what it is. She's passed away now quite a few years. But anyway, that was my first time that I realised that I had a weight issue. As I grew older, I grew heavier and heavier. I remember when my grandmother did die and I had to get something to wear. I had to go to the old lady, the older section of McElhinney's here in our town, and I wore this horrendous skirt, and it was terrible. For someone my age, when Granny died, I was 15, and I was dressing like a 60, maybe 65-year-old woman. That's how I felt at the time, because there was nothing there appropriate for a funeral that was in my size. And I can't even remember what size I was then. As I say, I was 15. But I do remember my school skirt at school then was a size 18. So if you're watching this somewhere else, I don't know what size, but I mean, it's an Irish size 18. So, and then weight was always an issue. It was always there. I used food for comfort. I realised that the older that I got, that's what was happening. And over the years then, weight started to slowly creep on. And then I would took some off, and then it crept on. It's the story that most of us could tell. Well, not most of us, sorry, but a few of us could tell. And when I think about it sometimes, I just think, if life had been different, if I had have got this earlier, if I had have realised this earlier. But look, I can't change the past, no one of us can. The only thing I can do is control tomorrow. Or you can't even control tomorrow, but you can steer it in the right direction. Anyway, so yes, so weight has always been an issue for me. A few years ago, I did get down to my lowest weight. I got down to 12.7, and that came from while I was at Slim World and I was at Weight Watchers. I did diet drops, I did shakes. That's the only thing really worrying me about the operation, is going back on shakes, protein, because it flashbacks me to that for those like 4 months when all I did was drink shakes, and it was horrendous. But I know this will be different, and I've got myself, they're over there. I got myself some nice shakes. I've got barbells. They're 24 grams of protein in them. They're low sugar, low carb, and they're like 188 calories per shake. And I'm just looking at them here. They're banana milkshake ones, and then there are, I have UFit. My apologies, there was very weird noise just came from the gym. I just had to check it. Yes, they're called UFit, and My sister uses them, so I'm thinking, right, I'll use them. She says they're quite nice. So, yeah. So, giving me all back to where I was beginning. It's not the operation that worries me and the hardness on either side, because I'm ready for it. I'm ready to take on the challenge. But what is hard for me is the traveling by myself and the being away and being away from family and being so far away from family. So this is where now I want to talk to the 6 months me. So I am 6 months post-op, and all the research I've done and everything that I have seen, because I know a few people who are close to me who have got it done, they have made amazing results in the 6 month span. For me, I am a powerlifter, and I work in the gym. So I powerlift, I teach body pump, I teach spin, and I need to make sure that my energy is there. And I need to make sure that I have the power to keep doing what I'm going to do. So I'm going to contact a dietitian and work with a dietitian to help me. I know for the first few months I'll have no choice but to eat the way that I have to eat, because you're on the liquid diet. So for the first 2 weeks you're on liquids. Third week then you can go on pureed vegetables and stuff like that. And then I think it's after week 5 or 6, or maybe after week 4. I have it all written down and I know it. And of course now when I'm making this video I can't give you the right numbers, but I think it's week 5 you can start introducing small bite-sized bits of food again to get your chewing. And I know you have to chew a lot, like, you just can't eat and swallow, and figure out the foods that you can tolerate and the foods that you can't tolerate. So that's all going to be happening. But the training is where I need to make sure that I keep my focus as well, because I don't want to get skinny. I don't want to be skinny. I want to be a powerhouse. I want you to look at me and think, Jesus Christ, she can knock me sideways. And I want to keep being able to lift, because I want to compete in bodybuilding in why is it when you do videos like this your brain just takes a fart like that? You've all these ideas of things to say, and now I'm going to go, do I have to edit this, or do I just leave it the way it is? I'm just going to leave it the way it is, because this is me. And if I edit it, you're going to see something that's not me, because I'm not always, my head goes from there to there to there to there to there. I am going to go into a powerlifting competition next year. That is my goal, so I'd love to do that. And I have been training for that. And I do have to come off that training schedule for a couple of weeks now after the operation. But anyway, back to it again. The me in 6 months. Right now I'm scared. Or right now you're scared. But look where you are now. Look, and that's what I keep thinking of. I keep thinking of not me right now where I'm scared. Me in 6 months. Think of that Kathy. How is she going to look? How is she going to feel? How is she going to be in the world? How strong is she going to be? And I keep thinking of all the positiveness. So whenever again talk to her, or she talks to me, it's like, do you ever do mirror work, where you talk in the mirror and the reflection looking back is the you of whatever time frame it is. So it's either you of a week's time if you have a goal to do, so it's you of a week's time saying I have it all done, this is what I did. Or it's you in 5 years time saying I have achieved my goal and this is what I did and this is how I got there and how good I feel, or 10 years or whatever it is. So I'm going to do the mirror work every day of myself in 6 months. So it is, I'm Kathy and I'm 6 months post weight loss surgery. I had a really harsh time at the beginning, because I was worried about traveling. I was worried about going by myself, but the experience was fantastic. I had a great plan and it went okay. There was a few wee hiccups, but I was all right and I got through it. I made an itinerary, so I knew where I was supposed to go and what I was supposed to do. When I got to the hospital, everyone controlled all of that. I didn't have to do any of it. And the same thing as when I came home again. I had my itinerary, so I knew what plane to go for, where I was supposed to be, and I got home. You had Christmas with your family, which was a bit harsh, because everyone was eating Christmas foods, but you knew that you had made the right decision. And even though it was hard and you did feel upset a few times, it was okay. You did get through it. Then after that, things started to get even better. You got back to training, or sorry, I got back to training. I am back now training and getting ready for my first competition in 3 months' time. The first few weeks were a wee bit tricky, learning what your body could do and what it couldn't do just after recovery. The swimming was a great idea. I decided to go swimming after my first week, and that kept my body going. Then I also started to do some band work, and that was my plan prior to the operation. I was going to do some band work and some very light machine work just to keep the muscle mass there, because that was the one thing I didn't want to do, was to lose muscle mass. So now I'm 6 months out. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. I have lost 5 stone. I have kept some of my muscle, and I am working on changing my body shape and really feeling strong and powerful again. Some days are better than others with the food. Some days I struggle with getting my protein in, but I know I made the right decision, and I just feel absolutely fantastic. So keep going. You can do this. So that's something like that. Something like that I'm going to constantly tell myself. I'm going to have it that it's a positive, but I'm not going to be I'm not going to be deluded and say, no, it went swimmingly. There was not one blip. Now, there's going to be blips along the way. And when I mean the blips, I mean like the traveling. That's my biggest fear, guys. That's my biggest fear, is the traveling by himself. But I've been going to counselling. I've been prior to getting the sleeve done, so I can figure out what's going on up here. Because when you use food and alcohol to self-medicate, when that's not there anymore, you have to really make some tough stuff. You really have to talk about the shit that is going on in your head and the reasons behind why you do what you do and you feel what you feel. So I started that about 4 months ago, and I'm going to continue on for at least a year after. Sorry, I started off my t-shirt. I'm going to continue for at least a year after the operation, because this is not going to be like a flyby, or this is not going to be something that I get done and then forget about. This is going to be something that's going to change my life forever, and I really, really have to realize that, take it on board, and then work going forward. So for the next couple of days, as I said at the start of this video, 13 days and counting. We had Christmas last weekend, so I'm going on the 16th, so when I get back it's the 22nd, so that's when my usual Christmas festivity food kind of begins, because I'm very good at my nutrition, and I know how many of you are sitting there now, maybe comment underneath, well, if you're good at your nutrition you would lose weight. No, there's different factors all the time that stop you from losing weight. There's no point me telling you know them all. I'm not giving you any excuse. I'm not giving myself any, telling you any excuses. This, and this. But there's always reasons why weight loss doesn't happen. It doesn't matter if you try. You try and you try and you try. I have tried my whole life, and I'm still sitting here. I do not want to be sitting in 10 years having these same conversations. And this is the tool that I'm using. And the gastric sleeve surgery, I actually was talking to my sister about it the last day, and I said to her, the gastric sleeve is a tool, and if you don't use it right, and if you don't work with it, well, it's not going to work. It'll work for a while, but then it'll just stop working. And I says, it's like having a shovel out in the front garden. You buy the shovel. Does the garden do itself? No, it doesn't. You have to go out and you have to put in the man hours. You have to go in and you have to go out and you have to put in the work. And I'm the same. It's the same thing. I'm getting this tool, which is the gastric sleeve, but if I don't treat it properly, and if I don't follow the rules and follow the nutrition and keep going to counselling and keep focusing on the fact that food doesn't rule my life and that I can keep moving forward from this, well, it's not going to work. It may work in the short term, but it's not going to work in the long term. And I want this to be a long-term life change. I want to leave the me who is making this video right now, who feels so bad inside herself that she just, I'm such a positive person, and I'm such a happy person. And I believe every single person should love the body they're in, and they should love themselves. But right now, I don't love myself. And then there could be an argument for, well, if you learn to love yourself, you would learn to love your body and you wouldn't have to get the surgery and all that. Yes, that's another, that's a good point. But the point is that I don't want to live in this body. I don't want to have this body. I want to be in a leaner, stronger, more agile, more mobile. I don't want to have, don't want to, like, I have PCOS with insulin resistance, okay? Now, I asked the doctors about it. There's a medication he can give me that could help with the glucose, but he said I would have to be diabetic to get it, or pre-diabetic. I'm not that way, okay? So he kind of said to me that I had to wait until I was pre-diabetic or diabetic to get to get these injections that maybe could or maybe couldn't help. I'm not going to do that. I want to do something right now that's going to help me long term and help me change my life and help me get fit. I am fit. I am healthy. I have PCOS, but I am healthy. I don't have blood pressure, don't have cholesterol, don't have anything. All I always say that all I have is fat. So I have no issues with anything else. And so it's the right time, because it's the safest time to go get the surgery, in case there's all these other things maybe happen in 5 years' time, and then it'll be less safe for me to get the surgery. So right now, at this minute, in this time, I am ready for this sleeve to be done. So, what else? Yeah. So that's this kind of stuff that's been going around in my head. And if anyone is watching this, and it's so weird doing such a long video, because I'm usually doing like videos on Facebook or videos on TikTok, and they're a lot shorter, but over here you get to do longer, and I hope if anybody sat and listened to me to the very end, I don't know, but I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing these videos as a record that I can look back again, that 6 month self can look back and see how I felt on this day, how I felt on the day before the operation, how I felt on the day after the operation, how I felt. Sorry guys, sorry. Oh, I've been in the gym since 5 o'clock. I'm exhausted. How I felt a week after the operation, how I got over Christmas, how I did that, how I got into the new year, what energy did I have then in January. I'm so excited about that, to get back to training again. I'm training way too much this week. I know it's terrible, but I'm training away this week because I know I won't be able to train them for a few weeks. So, and I got new lifters. I'll show you. Look, my kids bought me these for Christmas. Aren't they snazzy? So I'll be training today. I had classes to teach this morning. I have a client now in a little bit, and then I have another class, it's body pump, so I'll be a sweaty mess. I have that to teach now, and then I will do my own session after that. So yes, this is me. This is all about me, and it's going to help me, and I'm going to keep looking back on these videos and see how the Kathy is of today and how the Kathy is of 6 months, and I'm excited to meet that Kathy. So I'm going to go. I'm going to let you go, and I want to say thank you very much for anybody who interacts, anybody who watched this. I know if you watch this video the whole way to the end, please write a wee comment that you watched it to the end. If there's any questions you want to ask, or if you have any advice for me, anything, interact with me, and any advice you may have, I'd be so happy to listen to it. And but I don't want to hear about all the well, I had a friend who went and got it done, and she ended up, I don't want to be bringing that kind of stuff in, because unfortunately sometimes things go wrong. But I'm trying to keep in a very positive mindset and a very positive headspace, so I can go and travel and not be any more scared than I already am. So positive thoughts, please, positive comments, and again, any advice, I would be so happy with it, especially not so much the before the operation or the recovery for the operation, because I have two people who's close to me, one who's going through it right now, and then one who went through it a few months ago, and I can get that kind of information off them, how they're recovering and stuff. For you guys, if anyone wanted to, it's like, how are you feeling 6 months out? How are you feeling a year out? How are you feeling 10 years down the line if you got it 10 years ago? And the changes that it's brought to your life. And I would be very grateful for any of that you can give me. Okay, so I'm going to go now. Thank you very much, everybody. I am sending you positive thoughts for today, whatever day you're watching this. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.